All right, we in there.
All right, like yeah.
We in here like Glenwood.
Woo! Yep, let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. What's up with the digital delay going on here? What's happening?
Another Tuesday. Another Tuesday.
Yeah, man. Another Tuesday. We in the building. You know what I mean? Stiff like we posing. That's just me on this side right here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we in the house. You know what I mean? As we do around this time every Tuesday. It's myself, left-handed at RM Desk on Twitter, and the ubiquitous one, Browski in the house, aka Yada Bear in the building.
What up? What
A
up?
lot of stuff, going on, a lot of stuff to talk about. But we're gonna start it off in the beginning. I guess we could talk about because the money is always the main topic. Um, James Harden.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, $900 million from the Saudis is going to be hard to turn down. And somebody was telling me earlier, well, he won't have none of his friends over there. I said, man, he'll have 900 million of his friends with him. Don't
He got
don't
900
even
million
worry
friends.
about it. You know what
He
I'm
can keep a
saying?
file for friends. But
Absolutely.
I mean, this off season for the Sixers has been crazy. James Harden wanting to be traded, which was cool. He opts in. Now we have this whole fiasco happening where he's calling Daryl Morey a liar over in China. Came this big thing. And I've been standing in the background watching it. Haven't really spoke about it yet because I had a feeling that it was going to be the typical James Harden show. This is who he is. He's a disruptor. He's been this way his almost his whole career now. Um, when he got traded from OKC to Houston, and it just been like the James Harden show in Houston. They had he has burned many of bridges. Yes, he has, and it's crazy to see um him doing it all over again, with his man. Daryl Morey was his guy. Daryl
Right.
Morey gave him everything that he wanted in Houston. He made about 300 million in Houston. He wanted Chris Paul. Boom, got him Chris Paul. He wanted Carmelo Anthony. Boom, gave him Carmelo Anthony. He wanted Russell Westbrook. Boom, gave him Russell Westbrook. He didn't want them to trade Eric Gordon. Boom, they paid Eric Gordon almost as if he's a starter. He's a six man coming off the bench.
Right.
So it's like this guy, he asks, and he receives. He wanted to leave Houston so bad to the point that he looked like he put a fat suit on. Boom, he gets traded to Brooklyn. All of a sudden, you know, he can play basketball again. Then when he realized that Kyrie and KD, it was not working with the three of them, he was doing too much there. He wanted to be traded again. Boom, he gets here to Philly where he wanted to be. Gave him a nice little contract. He gave a little discount last season. This year comes, he wants a max still. My man, you're not max still worthy anymore. Brooklyn offered you 200 million that you turned down because you didn't want to be in Brooklyn no more. To me, that's the last max offer that you was going to get. Is no way that you will be able to get 200 million from the Sixers, especially the way that you played in Game 6 and Game 7 of the playoffs last season. That still has a foul taste in our mouth. That's the last impression that you gave the fans, Daryl Morey And more importantly, Daryl Morey's boss, Josh Harris.
Mm-hmm.
Think that Josh Harris would be like, oh yeah, go ahead and give him this money. I don't understand why James Harden don't think that Daryl don't have someone else that he has to answer to. See, he didn't have that problem in Houston because Houston is a messed up organization and they just was just doing whatever. You know,
Right.
you didn't know who was running the show there. Daryl Morey was signing everybody to damn near max deals. Everybody didn't have a max contract playing in Houston. But unfortunately, here in Philly, it don't fly like that. So you think that the ownership is going to sit there, watch you give up, play like crap in Game 6 and Game 7, and be like, oh yeah, we want to get this guy 4 years, 200+ million. What? Like, come on now, that don't even sound right. And for him, to get in his feelings and say things like Daryl Morey is a liar. Now
Right.
it's costing you money. Now you 100K light in your wallet right now
Mm-hmm.
because you want to run off at the mouth and say things that your agent advised against you for saying.
In
Your
the
agent
first place.
don't say that. You're going too far. Don't say that. And then he did what he wanted to do, and he said those words. He repeated himself to make sure that we all heard him from China.
Right.
And then you try to backtrack it and say, "Oh, I only said that because of X, Y, and Z." Nah, that's how you felt.
That makes it even worse when you try to when you come out, you say that with your chest. Yeah, he's a liar. I'm not going to play another game, in a Sixers uniform and all this, and then try to, then try to take it back like, well, I said it because of certain thing. No, you said it.
You said that
Period.
that's how you felt, and
Right.
and the one thing I don't understand that he don't get is you can't say things like that to this fan base because we can love you for 1 minute and the next minute you are dead to us. So
Ask ask
James
ask, ask,
Harden is
ask
dead
Santa
to
Claus.
us
Right. Right.
in Philadelphia.
That
And he
Sixers,
knows
that Philadelphia fan base, boy, they go hard body karate.
we will
Word up.
listen, we will love you forever. Forever. As soon as we see a crack of that love not being returned to us, or you do some crazy stuff like this, it don't fly here. We would turn on you in a minute. We would it's so fast. So James Harden knows that he has burned not only the Ben Franklin Bridge, but the Walt Whitman Bridge, the Tacony Bridge. He
Uh oh.
can't come over. He can't get in Philly at all. Okay, he know he can't come back here. He know he can't come back here, and I'm pretty sure if and when he does get traded, whatever team he goes to, when they come here to play, that's gonna be a low management day. He's not gonna be
So
playing that day.
I'm seeing where the Players Association is filing a grievance.
Yeah, well, that's what they gotta do it. They gotta do
I
it.
mean,
Um,
I mean, go ahead.
I don't know if they will win it because he has no proof. There was nothing written in stone. It was nothing in paper. It was not recorded of Daryl Morey saying that you're going to be traded as soon as the season's over or anything like that. Now he could have said, "Hey, we're going to try to trade you as soon as possible." But again, we're not going to take just any deal because you want to leave. Because you want to go to the Clippers and play with Kawhi and Paul George. How about you talk to the Clippers and ask them, well, why are you undervaluing me? Because you telling me that we're supposed to give James up for Powell, Morris, and or and maybe Terrence Mann, because they iffy with Terrence Mann. They want to keep him in the deal, take him out the deal, because if we was being honest, Daryl Morey could say, all right, well then, if you want James, then we need to be talking, giving up either Kawhi or Paul George.
Let me ask a
He
question.
be funky.
Let me ask a question right quick.
Mm-hmm.
What is the big attraction with James Harden in the first place? Like I don't get it. This dude. Last time I checked, we got the same amount of championship rings. None, right? This dude's been practically all over the league, stealing money, fat suits. When you pout, when
Strip
you don't get your
clubs,
way,
going to Vegas.
yeah, you know what I mean. And we ain't gonna talk about the strip clubs and all that. But when you don't get your way, now you ready to go. You don't got nothing to bring to the table except for a messed up reputation, which is getting worse by the minute.
Yeah,
So, what is the big attraction with James Harden? Gonna make you a champion? I don't think so. When is
it's the
somebody gonna come
name.
to the realization like this dude is causing us more headaches
Yeah,
than you know what I mean than positive stuff? We don't need this dude. What's the big deal?
I know. I don't get it. It's the name. I mean, he does what he do when he's good, but when he's not engaged, it's terrible. So yeah, I totally get it. It's like we don't know what James Harden we're gonna get. We're gonna get the James Harden that's engaged and want to be with the team. We're gonna get the James Harden that's disengaged, that's talking crap on the internet,
Right,
just not
right,
around the team, just being a cancer. But what's crazy is with the new CBA was made up because of guys like James Harden. So he's already threatened. He's not gonna come to training camp. That's fine. We already know that you're not gonna come to training camp. All that is out the window. But the thing is, he still have to report to the Sixers, because if he doesn't report to the Sixers, I believe within 30 days of when training camp starts, he can forfeit a year of his free agency and the contract. So we won't even have to pay him.
right.
And we can fine him on top of not paying him. So then he could be paying the Sixers and lose a year of free agency. So he has to be smart about what he's doing. And with him not taking the advice of his agent, he put himself in a really bad predicament right now, because it's no way that he can come back here. And he, know what? I'll take it back. The only way that he could come back here is if the Sixers say, you know what, we're gonna fire Daryl Morey. If they feel like this is Daryl's fault, and if they found out that he did say something like, we're going to get you this contract or something like that. But if that's not the case, if there's no evidence, no proof of that, then he once again made a permanent decision off of temporary feelings, and he's going to be in a bad place. But who knows?
Um, yeah, who knows? Enough about that. But my team, the Knicks, we got our own, uh, you know, um,
Strange
situation that
situation.
we're dealing with. You know what I mean? The Knicks sued the Toronto Raptors, members of the Raptors organization, and a former New York Knicks employee, who they alleged illegally procured and then disclosed proprietary information
Mm-hmm.
to their Atlantic Division rival. Now, when you talk about proprietary information, what the hell does that mean? Um, I
It
think
could be
that when
anything,
you,
right?
huh?
I said it could be anything, right?
It could be anything, like the price of the popcorn, like you know what I mean. How many times Spike Lee actually sat in his courtside seats in the last 10 years? Like I
Yeah.
mean, again, but they say that the Toronto Raptors, the Knicks' former employee, he violated a confidentiality agreement in his contract, and so I think that, here we go again with the off the court stuff. And this is turning into, a Mission Impossible situation and everything that has to do with, soap operas and dragging people through the mud and different organizations and different entities where it
Mm-hmm.
has nothing to do with what happens on the court. Everything has to do with what happens behind the scenes and text messages and telephone calls and files and stuff
Company
like that.
files.
It, it, it's crazy. I just think that these internal investigations are really, really, don't have anything to do with us. Handle that behind the scenes. I really don't care
Yeah.
that you let this guy go to a division rival and he took some files with him. So
Mm-hmm.
again, at the end of the day, the analytics again, they rear their ugly head, and I
Yeah.
just think that you 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 work with these people and things of that nature. Then when you make them mad, they do whatever they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And again, I just feel like um, you reap what you sow. At the end of the
Yes.
day,
Yes.
you reap what you sow. At the end of the day, you hire these people, you fire these people. You think, and especially now in today's society, these cats got feelings. Oh, you gonna fire me? Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm gonna do. You
You
know what I
gonna
mean?
fire me? Oh, okay, no problem. Scandal,
Right,
scandal,
scandal. Right,
scandal. They
right,
going
right. But
right.
I
I'm
just
just
don't
waiting
get it.
for something to pop out. Because you know
Yeah,
it's going to happen.
it's no longer about you know who they was hanging out with at the club after the game. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just a whole bunch of things. So now you know are we talking about draft picks? Are we talking about firing the Raptors staff? Or what are we doing? Because again, this is supposed to be alleged confidential information. It can't be too confidential if myself and my ubiquitous partner over here, if we know about it, it can't be
Exactly.
too confidential. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So again, that's just something else that's going on. And respect due to Lonzo Ball, man.
Yeah. Oh my God, I was just about to. Yeah, man.
Go ahead, Kimmy, go ahead.
Listen, here we go again with Stephen A. Smith. You know
Mm.
him throwing out these reports without any evidence behind it and any proof behind it, stating that he can't get up out of a upright position, like he can't stand on his own, and how petty and how light skinned of Lonzo Ball to film himself getting in and out of a chair and calling Stephen A. Smith out by name and laughing at
This
him.
is where we are. This is where we are. Right? Absolutely. Go ahead.
And laughing at him. So now Stephen A. Smith looked like a clown once again, running off at the mouth. You know, what did we say? Always trying to be the first one. I'm
Mm-hmm.
the first one to report this. I'm
Mm-hmm.
the first one
Mm-hmm.
that said that Lonzo Ball couldn't get out of the chair, that he can't walk, or he never want to play basketball again. And look what trying to be first did to you once again. Looking
And
foolish.
and where and in the grand scheme of things, it's like we look at it from a common sense through a common sense lens. Where's your credibility? Where's
Yes.
your integrity? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When do you learn when to talk, when not to talk? You know what I mean? You love to run off at the gap. You love to run your mouth. Like you said, Browski, everybody wants to be first. Everybody, oh yeah, because I was the first one to do this. I was the first one to do that. And you also the first one to shut the hell up when Lonzo Ball make you look crazy out here.
Made him look real crazy. I didn't hear no. I
So
didn't hear nothing coming from Stephen A. No tweet. No
right,
nothing.
right. So again, where are we at? Like, is it like have we gone, um, over the cliff with this wanting to be first and wanting to just have disseminate all types of information overload, and then when you're wrong with your information, and no, it's not you was misquoted or you misheard or you misrepresented. No, you was dead wrong,
Yep. Trying to throw
dead ass
some
wrong.
dirt on him, some dirt on his name,
Right,
dirt on his game, Like this young man is going through something that nobody could predict in his career, that he's going to miss a second straight season for the same injury, getting another surgery on the same, on the same problem. Now he got to go back to rehab to try to get back on the court for another year. Like, and then he's going to turn around and say, "Oh, he can't get out of a chair. He can't get in and out of chairs." Like
And
what?
be blatant with it and be over. You know what I mean? Oh well, yeah,
Right.
he can't do this, and his
Like he's
career is
in his
done.
house. Like
And
he's in his house watching him
right,
in and out of chairs. Like he's helping him getting in and out of a chair. I said, "Wow, I'm like that. That's crazy."
and this is where we at with it, y'all. I mean, us over here down in Sports Talk, we just like to talk. We speak truth to power. We don't really jump out the window. You know what I mean? We might say some funny stuff, and at the end of the day, we could be like, "Oh, that was some funny stuff." You know what I mean? We're
Yeah,
not ever gonna put any, aspirations on anybody or accuse anybody of anything like that without having done the research and done the knowledge first. Because we always do the one over here, and doing the one means doing the knowledge. So again, at the end of the day, these cats, because they make a lot of money, they got a lot of notoriety, they got names behind themselves,
mhm.
they have the cachet, you know what I mean? But what does it mean at the end of the day when you can't stand on your own square after stuff that you said about somebody else that you have nothing to do with?
Nothing to do with.
You don't have that same energy now. That
Put
that
it,
that energy
put
you had
left
putting the
his name
story out
out of your
there.
mouth.
Right, right. That's right. That's right. You know what I mean? So that's what we just want to talk about that. But we're gonna keep it pushing down in Sports Talk, man. Hit that like and subscribe button. We're in the building every Tuesday night, man, 8 to 9 p.m. That's how we give it up over here. Um, it's about that time. The leaves are changing. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? The
days are
the
getting
jerseys are
shorter.
coming back out and stuff like that. It's that time of the year. So we wanted to get into a few NFL storylines. Browski, you got any storylines that interest you as far as this upcoming 23 season is concerned?
Oh well, my number one storyline here being in Philly is the Eagles going to have a Super Bowl hangover. That's always the
Mm,
storyline
mm.
coming to a
Talk
new
about it.
season, especially for the losing team. Is there going to be a Super Bowl hangover? A lot of changes with not having the same defense and offensive coordinator. Um, Also, is it end of the era of Jason Kelsey? We got a lot of guys on the squad that's old vets. You got Jason Kelsey, Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox. Like, is it the end for these guys? Is this going to be their last rodeo here in Philadelphia? When you talk about storylines, the one of the biggest storylines I also think is what's going on in Cleveland. No more excuses. They have a quarterback. They have receivers. They have a running back. They have a decent defense and an okay offensive line. So, is this the year that the Cleveland Browns can take the next step of their franchise journey? Is it going to be what the Cavaliers call themselves Believe Land? Is it going to be Believe Land in the Brown Stadium? Um, Another one's going in that same division. Another storyline is what's going on in Baltimore. This Lamar Jackson bounce back season, with him now having a receiver, there. Um, I mean, it could go on and on. What? Aaron Rodgers, come on now. The New York Jets. Is this the year the Jets make it to the playoffs? Can Aaron Rodgers get the Jets to the promised land? Will they be calling him Broadway Aaron instead of Broadway Joe?
Mm.
Like, is he going to take Joe Namath's spot? You know? So there's so many. Um, which ones are you looking at?
Again, it's a whole bunch of storylines that you could look at. I'm gonna start out with my team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We named Baker Mayfield starting quarterback. I don't know when they scheduled the parade. I haven't heard anything about a parade being scheduled because we named Baker Mayfield the starting quarterback. Um, Again, I feel like we're a team in reflux. In reflux, we got to figure it out still. We went from sugar to shit. From sugar.
Overnight.
Listen, from sugar to sugar honey iced tea
Okay.
overnight. You know what I'm
Overnight.
saying? And again, when you talk about storylines, I mean, I feel like we're only gonna go as far as the other teams let us. I'm just gonna keep it so green with you, Browski. You know what I mean? We're in a division. We're in one of those so divisions. You know what I mean? We got New Orleans, Carolina, Atlanta. It's a division that can be had if we play, way above our heads.
Yeah.
There's a few storylines for me. The new rookie quarterbacks, the C.J. Strouds, the Richardsons. You know what I mean?
Bryce
And
Young.
Bryce Youngs. You know what I mean? Those guys. So again, what's going on in Green Bay with Jordan Love. You know what I'm saying? What kind of year are we going to get when you talk about the Ravens? What kind of year we're going to get from Odell Beckham Jr.? Is he going to, be able to be the Odell that we're used to seeing?
Mm-hmm.
What's going on in, with the Dallas Cowboys? You talk about the Eagles and their situation. The Cowboy fans are talking like they can really compete with the Eagles. I'm not really so sure about that. You got storylines all over the league. I'm hearing a lot of stuff now. People are content now a little bit, feeling comfortable with Kenny Pickett in
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? So again, there are a bunch of storylines. You pick a team, there's a storyline with it. And
Oh,
again, that, and we say that to say this: next week, next Tuesday and next Wednesday, we will have a 2023 NFL preview on down at In Sports Talk. The 2023 NFL preview will be Tuesday and Wednesday. We will do the AFC on Tuesday night, and we will do the NFC on Wednesday night. But again,
yeah.
there's so many storylines that you could talk about. Where are we at in the AFC West? Can the Kansas City Chiefs repeat? We talk about Super Bowl hangovers. We're not
Yeah.
used to a Super Bowl hangover with the Chiefs, but again, anything can happen. You know what I mean? Which one of these teams are going to be able to really stand up and challenge the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC West?
I mean,
The Raiders.
when you look at the
Go
AFC
ahead.
West, I mean, how is this Sean Payton, Russell Wilson
Right in
dynamic
Denver.
gonna,
Right.
you
Absolutely.
know,
Absolutely.
how
Hmm.
that's gonna play out. Also, when you look at we look at the Raiders, you know, you got a reunion with Jimmy G and geez, what is that coach name? Josh McDaniels. You
Right.
know, reunion there. We're looking at the Chargers.
Right.
Is Josh
Is
Herbert?
Justin Herbert going to take that next
Yeah,
leap?
yeah.
You know what I mean?
And was that money a waste? Like, did they waste their money giving him all that money?
Right. Coming off of that loss to Jacksonville.
Exactly. You came
You know
off
what I mean?
a very embarrassing loss to Jacksonville
Right.
to get this
Right.
huge contract in the off season. What you gonna do with that? Like, are you gonna first round, you know, exit again? And then when we speak
Right.
of Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence, second year, Doug Peterson. Now you got Calvin Ridley down there with you.
Hmm.
A legit number one receiver.
Right.
Second year in the system. Can you make the leap? You went to the second round of the playoffs. Is that the norm now? Are we going to get back to the second round? They should easily take the division this year. Um, the biggest storyline, because there's been a storyline since we beat them in the NFC Championship, is the 49ers. The 49ers have had they feelings hurt, by the Eagles. They've been in their feelings the whole off season. They have, redid our fight song and saying, like, we've been in the 49ers head all off season, which is crazy. Now they go into the season. They already told Brock Purdy that it's his job. So now you made this deal to trade up to get Trey Lance, right? And then you got a guy from the sixth round, the last player picked in
Mr.
the
Irrelevant.
draft.
Mr. Irrelevant.
Mr.
Right.
Irrelevant is your starting quarterback.
Which
Now,
is one step above grabbing a bum off the street. Let's
exactly.
keep it real.
So to me, it's like they're still trying to fight, and they're still trying to use the magic that they had last season with Brock Purdy. But the problem is now it's film on Brock Purdy. He's
Right,
not a
Browski. Let's go. Let's
surprise.
go, Kimmy. Yep, that's right.
We had all off season to see how to take him apart, what he can do and what he can't do. And he's
Right.
coming off of basically Tommy John
Right.
surgery.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right.
So you telling me that you're gonna throw this kid back in the fire like he's not gonna be shell shocked. I say I truly believe anytime somebody have a significant injury like that, some LCL, ACL, Achilles, when
Mm-hmm.
they come back, they are never 100%. They lose a little bit of themselves from that injury. So we're going to see who this guy is when he's back in the fire. And what's crazy is we see the 49ers early. So they better hope. They better hope that he can make it out the link without a sling, without a cast, on a stretcher, walking by himself.
Send your emails
Listen,
to Browski.
these Niners fans have been going crazy all off season. We have been in their heads, and we haven't paid these guys no mind because they are irrelevant. Okay, they have all the fancy names on paper, but nothing to show for. And
Right.
for them
Right.
to give up all that for Trey Lance and then say, "No, we cool. He ain't the guy. We're gonna rock with this Mr. Irrelevant. We're gonna rock out with him." And everybody got them so high up on the list. Oh, the 49ers,
Right.
49ers
Right.
this, oh, the
Right.
49ers
Right.
that. The what?
I'm interested. I'm interested in seeing how many these so-called NFL gurus and prediction experts actually have the 49ers in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like for real, to me, it's like you could take 5 teams from the NFC, and kind of like conveniently put them all in a bowl, and whichever one you pull out, they could make the Super Bowl, but will they make the Super Bowl? That's different. You know what I mean? You talk about the Eagles, of course, right? Then you talk about I'm talking about, for me, is the Detroit Lions. I like them. You know what I mean? You could throw anybody in there in the NFC South. Then in the NFC West, they talk about Seattle a lot. I'm hearing a lot of people talking about the Seattle Seahawks. You know what I mean? And then you go Dallas. You know what I mean? Then you could, whatever fifth team you want, you throw that fifth team in there, put it all in the stew, stir it up, and then whoever you come out with, that'll be your Super Bowl team. Then you got the AFC. Wow.
It's
That
wild over
gauntlet
there.
right there, whoever makes it to January up to February in the Super Bowl deserves it. Kansas City, Cincinnati, you know what I mean? Buffalo. We talked about the Jets.
Buffalo,
You know what I mean?
Jets,
So
Dolphins.
Dolphins. So again, it's going to be very, very interesting to see. We these people, right, are making their Super Bowl predictions already, not knowing what the final rosters are going to be, because cut down weeks are coming up this week, and next week will be
Yep.
cut down weeks. So again, at the end of the day, I'm saying this to the other sports podcasters and the ones who have their Super Bowl predictions: knock it off.
Yeah, I think it's too soon. Too
Knock
soon.
it off.
Too
And send your emails to me. I'm on Twitter at RMDesk. Knock it off. because you jump out the window, you kind of sound like Stephen A. Smith right now. You want to be the first to say this, the first to say that, and then when November, December rolls around, and those teams that you picked are not even in playoff contention, now you want to, oh well, that was my. No, are you just saying it just to be saying it, or are you saying it because you're standing on your square? Which one
Yes.
is it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So again, when you talk about NFL storylines, there are definitely a bunch of them, and we're gonna, have this going on. We're gonna talk about it again in depth. Absolutely. Next Tuesday, next Wednesday, we got the Down and In Sports Talk NFL 2023 preview. We got the NFC coming on Tuesday, and we got the AFC on Wednesday.
No, no, no.
So
No, we're gonna flip
that's
it.
just
We're
what
gonna
that
flip it. We're gonna
is.
do. We're gonna flip it. AFC on
We're gonna
Tuesday,
flip
NFC on Wednesday.
it around. Okay, Browski, my bad. We're gonna flip it now. AFC on Wednesday, absolutely. So
Yeah.
that's what it is. That's what we're talking about. And we're in the building, man. Make sure you rock out with us down in Sports Talk on YouTube, down in Sports Talk on Facebook, and we will have once again on our in the Facebook group, we'll have the game picks. Right. Shout out to my man Sonny Cruz, who was the champion last year. Browski
Yeah,
was kind of
man.
heated about that.
Yeah,
It
man.
is what it is. It happens. You know what I mean? Hey, listen, I'm coming back for the crown this year, man. I'm coming back for the crown. And
Coming
this
for
year,
it.
on Down in Sports Talk, we'll have our game of the week, and we'll go against each other, and we'll see what it is, who we like, who we don't like, and stuff like that. But the NCAA is jumping the ship. They starting off this week. So
Yeah,
this week is week
I don't get
zero.
0 week.
Week zero in college football. And the only reason I wanted to kind of like talk about that a little bit, Yada, is because we have two ranked teams playing this week. On Saturday, we have 13th ranked Notre Dame fighting Irish, hosting Navy, and we have the number 6 ranked USC Trojans hosting San Jose State. I'm thinking both of those games are going to be close for about the first 5 or 10 minutes, and then we'll be looking at like 45-13 or 35-10 or something like that. You know what I mean?
35
And then
7.
next, and then next Thursday we have another ranked team,
Utah.
Utah, hosting Florida. So before we get into that, the Saturday, September 2nd, Deion Sanders,
He's on
all
the
the
clock.
all that where's my theme music? All that is going to be a lot of smoke in the building because they go to TCU. They don't start off with a easy game. They start off with TCU. And right now, Brasky, where do you see Colorado as far as, how many wins you think they could put up? I'm hearing people saying 3, 4. You going to put some more respect on Deion Sanders' name or what?
Um, Man, it's hard because I didn't really like look really hard at their schedule, but I can't see him just winning like 2 or 3 games. I mean, what they was what 1 in 12 last season. Colorado
Mm,
was. I believe that Dion can get. I'm gonna say 5.
okay.
I'll give him 5 wins. And that's just because it's first year. First, his team has just really just been put together. These guys coming from different schools in the transfer portal, guys,
Right, right, right,
coming
right,
in from
right.
Jackson State. Some of the core guys from Colorado may still be there, some left. So it's all new. It's like they're just picking guys from different places and putting them together as a team. And I feel like they're probably gonna need he gonna need at least a year to really make a real impact there. But by the time that happened, he'll be going to a different
You're
conference.
gonna be doing right, right.
So
That's
so
right. That's
so
right.
so then we're gonna be having the same question
Have the same
again.
conversation
Yeah,
again.
we're
You know
gonna
what
have
I'm
the same
saying?
conversation all over again because he's gonna be in a different conference. So it's
And
gonna be tough for Dion. These next 3 years are gonna be extremely challenging for Dion, especially this being year one. People saying 2 to 3 wins. I give him about 5, and then next season he's going to a whole different conference.
Right.
You know,
So
with tougher
you,
competition too. It's weird. I don't know.
they start off at TCU, then they play at home against Nebraska, then
Tough,
they play at home against Colorado State, then
tough.
they go to Oregon, they got USC at home, they go to Arizona State, they hold Stanford,
These are
they go
all
to
tough games.
UCLA, they host Oregon State, they host Arizona, they go to Washington State, and then they close out the season against you at Utah.
Uh, four wins.
That's tough. That's tough.
Oh
That
man.
Pac-12, that's
Ah,
tough.
let's see. You see the total went down four. I mean,
The total went
three
down.
and a half. Can it look like a 3.5?
Right, right,
Oh my
right, right.
God, that's a really tough
That's
schedule right there.
that's tough. That's tough.
Geez, they said 2 to 3.
And six gets you a bowl game.
60. Yeah, yeah. 5 is too high. 5 is too high. I mean, 3 or 4. 3 or 4.
3 or 4.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 4. I'm gonna go 4 because yeah, 6 give you a bowl game. 5 is too. Yeah, I gotta go 4 because just starting with TCU, that could
Yeah, that's
easily
that's
become a
hard.
blowout.
Yeah,
That
that's
can
hard.
easily be a blow. Like we talking about,
Yeah.
Notre Dame and Navy, being competitive for the first 5 minutes, and then you turn around, it's 42-7, or
Right.
fifty
That's right.
seven, or 68 to
The
3,
previous.
like something like that. Like what is
Right.
going
That's right.
on?
That's
So
right.
now I'm looking at this Colorado TCU game. I'm like, you know, he said a lot of fly stuff. It all sounds nice until he's on that sideline watching TCU go up and down the field scoring touchdowns.
Hey, listen, the spread is 21.
The spread is correct. The spread
That-
could
that-
probably be higher. The spread could probably be 28 if you be funky
the
with it.
spread. I say that the spread is correct.
The spread is probably correct. If I was a betting woman,
Mhm.
I'll probably take the over.
And what you gonna give the points and take the over, right? I ain't mad at you.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at you because all these teams are gonna be coming. It's not gonna be because of Colorado. It's gonna be because of Dion.
No, they want to beat Dion.
They want to beat Dion, and when I say they want to beat Dion, they want to beat Dion up, and they want to
Yeah.
beat Dion bad. So again, like you said, Rosky, the spread is correct.
Yeah. I mean, and when you look at teams like Nebraska,
Right.
Colorado State,
USC,
USC, Arizona,
Stanford,
like these are
UCLA.
teams that been in this division for a long time,
Right.
and now you got Dion coming over here, you know. We know he talk flashy, he talk loud, he got a swag, he brung all his guys in here. They won't want to beat him. They want to
Yeah.
shut him up.
Yeah.
And every game is going to be like, we need to destroy Colorado, and they got a target on them each game.
Yep.
So that 21 point, yeah, that's right. Yeah, could be
Yeah.
higher. Take
Yeah, I mean,
over.
again, I mean, it was, when you first talked about it, and he first, went, was going to Colorado and all the, I'm bringing my Louis,
I'm bringing my
luggage
luggage in
with
this
me.
Louis.
You know what I mean? And if you want to hit the transfer portal, you go ahead, and all this interaction with the transfer portal and these kids that were looking forward to doing their thing. And I'm not blaming I'm blaming the family, I'm blaming everybody because y'all the one that settled for this mediocrity. All that stuff is gonna come back to haunt you, yo.
Yeah.
All that stuff, you know what I mean? And again, at the end of the day, those people in the stands at USC and UCLA and Arizona State and stuff like that,
Colorado State,
they're gonna have those banners in the stands. It's gonna be
TCU. They gonna
crazy.
have luggage. They
Yeah,
no. He gonna go to USC. He gonna go to USC. People gonna be in the stands with Louis luggage.
with Louis luggage. Absolutely, absolutely. It's going to be it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. We're in the building, y'all, doing what we do on Tuesday nights. We appreciate y'all checking us out, rocking with us. Shout out to my man Nick. You know what I mean? That rocks with us. Shout out to Win Walker,
Yeah,
wherever you
Nick
are,
and
my
Win.
guy. Salute. You know what I mean? Yeah. So basically, week 0 starts this week. We'll have our updates on college football as the season goes along. I brought my shovel with me
Oh,
because
oh,
we're burying the Yankees.
oh
We
gosh.
are
Oh,
we are gathered here today.
straight out the gate.
We
Straight
are
out the gate.
absolutely
There
we are
for the Yankees.
gathered here today to bury the New York Yankees, a team that I have grown with. I love. They're part of. They're in me. I'm in them. When right is right, it's good. But when wrong is wrong, it's bad. Let's sum up the ways. The last world championship the Yankees had was in 2009. We are in the year 2023 AD. You do the math.
AD.
So for me, it's time to break out the shovel, break out your black suit, skinny tie, fat tie, whatever. Hook up some sweet potato pie for the repass, right? The Yankees are done and buried. I'm calling it right now. And we're going to add some more teams, but I just wanted to add that. Look at Browski over there grinning because their Phillies are like the number 1 wild card right now, but that's okay. All right. I'm burying. I'm not speaking for Browski because she can speak for herself. You know what I mean? But for me, I'm burying 3 teams tonight. I'm burying the New York Yankees. I'm burying the Kansas City Royals. And I'm burying the Colorado Rockies.
They just can't get it right in Colorado.
Not with those Newport cigarette uniforms that they got. This is crazy. I
You,
don't know what.
you might as well throw
Who
the
designed
Oakland
them
A's
joints?
in there. You might as well throw
You know what
Oakland
I
in there
mean?
too.
So yeah, I feel like the Yankees are done. Stick a fork in them. Stick a fork in the Kansas City Royals. Stick a fork. Oh, we stuck a fork in the Oakland A's in Memorial Day,
Yeah,
right?
they was done in
You know what I
Memorial.
mean? And we stick a fork in the Colorado Rockies. Anybody you sticking a fork in, Browski? I'm gonna leave some for you.
Oh, man. I'm stuck a fork in the Mets.
Uh-oh.
Okay,
Send your emails over there.
the Cardinals,
Uh-huh.
the Pirates,
Okay.
the White Sox.
Uh-huh. Let's go.
White Sox taking big L's. Tim Anderson out
Yeah,
there
they
getting
get they
knocked
get
out in
knocked out.
the game. Okay,
They get knocked out all over the place. That's right.
so they
That's
got
right.
knocked out. Okay,
They got knocked out for real, for real.
they got knocked out. And you know what else? The
Who?
Padres. The
Yeah. Okay.
Padres.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
it's crazy when we look at these teams because I
Mm-hmm.
remember going back to the beginning of the season when we was looking at this upcoming season and looking at certain teams that we are now surprisingly burying. I looked at the Padres as being a team that was ready to, explode out that division. They showed some life last season, by getting that wild card and, and battling us, and for them to take several steps backwards is
Yes,
quite
sir.
disappointing.
That's right. You're
Especially
right.
when you look at that roster. Like, are you serious?
That's a World Series roster. That's a World Series roster that they got.
Yeah, and there was a couple games away from making the World Series, even without, you know, who was out?
Tatis.
Tatis. So then you got him back with Juan Soto, with Manny, and with their pitching, and it's like, what happened to?
And you got Gary Sanchez hitting home runs like Johnny Bench.
And I'm looking at this team like, wow, what happened? what happened to this team? And then also, we look at the team like the St. Louis Cardinals.
Right. Yeah. I picked them to win the division.
That
Absolutely.
extremely shocking. Who knew that even before the All Star break,
That they
there
be
would be
dead.
conversations about trading Paul Goldsmith, who was
Goldschmidt.
just the
Right.
MVP?
And then you just reminded me. You see Pete Alonso threw the kid's first MLB hit, threw it in the stands, the ball.
Yes.
That's crazy. Do you think he did that on purpose?
Nah.
Ah.
I, as much
Ah.
as much as I hate the Mets and can't stand Pete Alonso,
Right.
I
Right.
I don't think
Yeah.
he would stoop that low to do something like that. So I'm gonna say I don't think he did that on purpose, even though it kind of looked like it was on
Yeah.
purpose. It kind of looked like it was done accidentally on purpose.
Because again, when you do these things, this kid is coming up. You know what I mean? They even announce it when they announce his name. He's making his major league debut. This is his
Hmm.
first at bat or whatever the case may be. He gets his first hit. You know what's going on.
Yeah,
These
yeah,
cats know what's going on, man. And in the heat of the battle, I'm like you
yeah.
said, maybe he just kind of lost it for a second there at the end of the day, but accidentally on purpose. I'll buy that. I'll buy
Accidentally
that.
on
I'll
purpose.
buy that accidentally on purpose.
Yeah,
Again, I mean,
but
in today's society, you got to give everybody the benefit of the doubt and give them an out.
you got
And
to.
he sent the kid a nice bottle and things of that nature. But that don't make up for the ball that you threw into the stands.
Nah, it don't.
That's
It
like
don't make up.
that's something that you pass on, to your family. The first major league hit that you know what I mean. So for me,
Yeah.
I'm like I'm I go either way with it. I just think that with the year that the Mets are having, you know what I mean, and people
Oh
were
yeah,
talking
and
about
then
how
you
Pete
lose.
Alonso, here in New York, people talk about how Pete Alonso is becoming really a cancer in that clubhouse, and he might be one of the guys that be out of here and things
Oh,
of
he's
that nature.
trying to find his way out. He's
Right,
forcing it. He's forcing it. He's forcing his way out of here.
right.
Um, he won't be a Met next year.
No, I don't think so either.
They
I don't think so
probably
either.
I mean what they already have they're already doing it now, blowing up the team by just giving up Verlander and things
Scherzer and
like
yeah,
that.
yeah, Scherzer,
You
yeah,
give these
yeah,
guys
and
all this
Verlander.
money, and then as soon as someone's unhappy or the season's not going the way that you would like it, you dump them off. Well,
Hmm.
Verlander was already old, so he wasn't going to get any younger when he went to New York.
And neither was Scherzer. That's right.
And I was going to say, and Matt and Scherzer wasn't going to get any younger neither. So you knew what these guys was when you brought them in and gave them that fat contract. So the Mets reap what they sow. Um,
Absolutely.
they just need to blow it all up. But when we look at, when we were talking about the Cardinals, I didn't expect this.
No, I again,
Ohio,
I like the Cardinals, and I just thought that that they were going to be able to. They were the strongest team in the National League Central. No disrespect to the Milwaukee Brewers or the Chicago Cubs, anything of that
yeah.
nature. But I just thought that the Cardinals were the strongest of those teams in the Central. And maybe we talking about hangovers and stuff like that. Maybe they were suffering through a Yadi Molina hangover. They didn't have that voice in the clubhouse because I
You
mean,
got him
no disrespect.
or Pujols. You
Yeah,
got
or Pujols, you know what I mean?
two strong leaders
So
have exit. Yeah,
right, no disrespect to Adam Wainwright, but Adam Wainwright, apparently wasn't enough. They needed that other voice from Molina and like you said, Albert Pujols and stuff like that. So again, that's where we are. What teams do you think who are not in first place right now might make a surprise as far as a wild card, or who we not paying attention to or not thinking about right now that'll be playing in the postseason?
I mean, right now, um, I'm thinking all about it because we are the Phillies. We are in a tough race with the wild card between us, the Cubs, the Giants, who we are playing right now,
Mm-hmm.
and Arizona and Cincinnati. You
Right.
know, it's basically like what, like between us and second and third, it's only 3 games. So right now we're in the 3 game series against the Giants. We won one game. We're down 3-2 the bottom of the eighth right now. So we got one more game with them. Um, so those teams I just mentioned are the teams that I'm really looking at. This series is very important for us. So if we can win this series, this will bury, the Giants even more. So that
Mm-hmm.
we can solidify our spot and with the first wild card spot, which is important because we get home playoff game. All 3 games
Right.
will be here in Philly. So that's extremely important. When I look at the AL, again, same tight race over there. Tampa Bay, Houston, Seattle. Remember a couple weeks ago we was talking about the Mariners and
Right.
your man
Shout
came
out to
on
Party
here.
Life. That's right. That's right.
Shout out to Party Life. I gotta give him his props. He
That's
said it.
right.
He
Shout out to
said,
Party Life.
listen. He said, wait for the season to keep going. He said we are a slow burn, and guess what? They are burning because they are in the third wild card spot right now,
That's
and then you
right.
got Toronto right behind them. So between third and first, they only 4.5 games back. So they battering too to get that first wild card spot, and it's still very possible for them to get it. So I gotta give a big shout out to Party Life because he called it. You know,
Yep.
we was on
I
the
mean,
fence.
7-3, 7-3 in their last 10 games. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? They're doing what they need to do. Julio Rodriguez is hot as they come. They
Julio,
have a
wow, he a
lineup.
baller.
They have pitching. You know what I mean? I just think that the Seattle Mariners are going to be one of those teams if they get in. It's still it's still an if because you got Toronto. I think they're going to have some things that they have to say about this situation. The Houston Astros are going to have to, I think they play Seattle, a couple more times before this season is over. So it's going to be a test of Seattle. It's going to be absolutely a test. That's why I told Party Life and salute to Party Life that, get that X by your name.
But but
Get
but
that X by your name. Go ahead. Go ahead.
but one thing I would say,
Mm-hmm.
their schedule is very favorable. Right now they in the they got what? They got 2 games against the White Sox, right?
You're right.
No, 3 games against the White Sox. They already destroyed them in the first game. They beating them now. After that, they got 3 games against the Kansas City Royals. Come on now. And then after the Kansas City Royals, they got the Oakland A's. So they
At
can,
home. At home. Right.
yes, these are all home games. So they can close the gap. They can close the gap. And then when you look at September, they start September off with the Mets. So they can close the gap.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going, Yada. Keep going.
Okay,
Keep
and then
going. Keep
after
going.
the Mets, they play the Reds.
Right.
To be interesting. And then
Right.
this is where they get interesting when they go play
Right.
Tampa. When they go to Tampa, they got 4 games. If they split with Tampa, Tampa got a problem.
Mm-hmm.
If they split with Tampa, and then they got the Angels,
Mm-hmm.
Dodgers,
Mm-hmm.
Oakland again,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's when it get funky
That's
because
when it,
then
that's when it get what? What did you say, Browski? Get what?
that's when it starts getting funky. Because then they got the Rangers, and then they got the Astros, and then they got the Rangers again. It's like
Right.
the Rangers, the
That's what I.
Astros, the Rangers.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's
That's
go,
when it
Kimmy.
gets
Let's go.
funky right there. And
That's
that's
what
at
I was
the
talking
and
about.
that's the end of the season. So that right there
That's
can make
right.
or
That's what I
break
was
the
talking
wild
about.
card hearts.
Right. Yep.
So if they can make, oh my God, those last 12, if they can if they can go 6-6, I would even say six, 5-7. I think they still make it. I think they
I
still make
mean, I say this. I say this to
from the
Party
tight.
Life, and I say this. I say this about the Seattle Mariners. You said, and you're absolutely right. Their schedule is very very doable. They're gonna have to make hay against all those games they play against Oakland. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
they gotta crush them. They
And
gotta take all of them. They gotta
they
sweep
got
them.
to take all them games. You know what I mean? And build the cushion because as you get into September, like you said, you open up with the Mets. Then you go to Cincinnati, which is
Yeah,
not going to be a walk in the park because Cincinnati's also trying to get that respectability going
trying to get
on.
that wild,
Then you
and
go
they in the
to
wild
Tampa,
card fight too.
right? Then you go to Tampa for 4, and Tampa is still that same wild card position, or
Yep.
the division depends on what the Orioles are doing.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got the Angels, and depending on what the Angels are doing, they're still they're holding on for dear life because
Yes,
we didn't bury the Angels, right?
now we ain't buried them yet. They still, you know, they still trying to float.
And
They
then
still
and then
hold
after
on.
that, the Dodgers coming to Seattle. And then after that, you go to Oakland where they're gonna
Hmm.
have, they're gonna have, the burial going on for the Oakland A's, get ready to, the moving trucks to move them to Las Vegas.
Listen, they're gonna be taking the seats out the stands.
Yeah, yes.
They gonna,
And that stadium is in the middle of the hood too, so you already know
yeah,
it's going down.
yeah.
Um, then last week of September, you got like you said, you got that 3-game set in Texas
It's
against
a
the
gauntlet.
Rangers.
Listen,
Then
that's a gauntlet right there.
Astros come in.
And
You know
then,
what I mean?
and then you got
And
the
then you
Rangers again
close
coming
out the
in.
season with the Astros and the Rangers. So
Yeah,
party
that's a
life.
gauntlet.
It ain't over. It ain't over till it's over, my guy. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
again, salute. But while we are on the topic, let's look at that Philadelphia Phillies schedule.
Oh,
She said, "Oh." And while we at it, let's look at that Philadelphia Phillies schedule there.
yes, yes. We could definitely take a look at this Philly schedule because right now,
Okay.
all right. So here we go. We got this game going on. We got this series with the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
Then we go. Oh, then the Cardinals come to visit. 3 games here, and then we close out August with the Asian Babe Ruth and the Angels. You know, so very favorable. We should take care of business with the Cardinals.
Okay.
We should take care of business with the Angels. Truthfully, I mean,
Okay.
then when we look in September, we start out September with the Brewers. We go to Milwaukee. That should be
Which
a
is going to
very
be a playoff atmosphere in Milwaukee.
should be yep,
Absolutely.
should be a very tough series. We should be
Let's
playing
go.
this like playoff game. And then guess where we go next? We go to San Diego,
Right.
where they hate us. They hate the Phillies there. And again, playoff atmosphere because now these are teams that are fighting for their wild card life. We are already up
Mm-hmm.
top. So these are series that we have to win
Right.
to bury these guys. If we can bury, I'm telling you, if we can go to Milwaukee, take 2 out of 3, it's done. It's over.
Mm-hmm.
We
Mm-hmm.
would solidify that wild card spot. Then after the Padres, we got the Marlins, which we should take care of business again. Again, it should be a playoff atmosphere because this again another team. This is one of the 5 teams that's fighting for the wild card position. We got 3 spots for 5. 5 teams fighting for 3 spots. And
Right.
then you know we go down and we have our arch rivals, the cream of the crop of the National League Division, the Atlanta Braves come to town, which again should
For
be
four games.
yeah for 4 games, one of them being a double hitter. It's going to
Right.
be playoff atmosphere right down here at Citizen Bank Park because again these are the Braves. if we could split with the Braves, we could split with the Braves, I would be extremely happy. And the Braves, they come in here with a chip on their shoulder because we took their hearts last season.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Braves came in, you know, thinking they
That
took the
that
number
ticket was
spot.
punched to the World Series. That's right.
Yeah, yeah, and we took their spot. We got them out of here, and then we closed. And then after that, we got the Cardinals again. We go to St. Louis for 3 more games, and then we go right back to hot Atlanta with the Braves. We got another 3 games with the Braves. Then we got them stinking Mets coming to Super Bowl Park. Those no good Mets. Then we get the Pirates, and then we end the season with the stinking Mets. So we are in control of our own destiny.
Right.
If we go out there and take care of business and do what we're supposed to do, especially against the bad teams. See, that's the Phillies' problem. We play down to these bad teams. You know, we should have never lost the series to the Nationals. That was ridiculous. Um, but if we can take care of business with these bad teams and put up a really strong fight against these other teams that's climbing up. We gotta take care of business tonight. We gotta take care of business against Milwaukee and in Miami and in San Diego. We can't lose series after series. It's all in our hands. So it's going to be tough. It should be exciting. It should be fun. This is this is when baseball is amazing and magical. It's like who can get that magic right now at the end of the season. This is where we want to see the magic happen, and you starting to get the flow, and we starting to put wins together, and you just ride into the postseason. Because just like I said last season, don't let us in the postseason. What
Yep.
people
You
don't
said that.
realize, this team is not built to win 90 something games in the regular season, 100 games. No, this is a postseason roster. We have we are built for the postseason, and it has already been proven last year. And now with the addition of Trey Turner, who's now coming around, and with the improvement in Stock and Marsh and Bong, like all of our young guys are coming together. Phillies is a dangerous team in the postseason. So I'm just excited to see what's going to happen this year.
Oh, did somebody say it wanted the Yankee schedule?
Oh,
I'll give it to you. I give it to you. I give it to you in one word. Here you go.
go ahead.
L. That's it.
That's
I
it.
wouldn't be. That's it. That's it. This season is a wash. Um, let's just play out, and it hurts to say this, but we're just playing out the string, yo.
I
We're just
mean,
playing out the season. We played out. We can't even be a spoiler at this point. You know what I mean? So again, we're losing right now to the Nationals, right? Then we go to Tampa, right? Then we go to Detroit to close out August, right? Then September, we start September in Houston,
mm,
home Detroit,
mm,
home Milwaukee,
mm,
at Boston for 4 games, at Pittsburgh. Then the Blue Jays come in.
mm,
Then the Diamondbacks come in.
mm.
And then, we go to Toronto and we
Oh.
close out the season with 2 games in Kansas City. So if this was a typical Yankee season, yeah, we would win like 100 games. But this season is not a typical Yankee season, and I wouldn't be surprised if we lose 90.
Man, when the
I,
last
I'm,
time
I'm
the
just, I'm
Yankees
just,
lost
I'm
90
keeping,
games?
I'm keeping it in perspective because we don't know how to advance runners. We don't know how to hit with 2 outs. It's either a home run or a walk. Our pitchers are not doing what they're supposed to do. We haven't seen Carlos Rodon. We haven't seen Frankie Montas all year. You know what I mean? So again, we're going back to the dark ages And I say the dark ages, as being a Yankee fan for the majority of my life since 1976. You know what I mean? That's I've been a Yankee fan since the 1900s, right? We won in 77. We lost. We got swept by Cincinnati in 76. We won in 77. We won in 78. And we didn't see the World Series again until 96. That's 18 years. We started off the show. We talked about the Yankees, or we talked backstage. The Yankees haven't been there since 2009. It's 2023 now. And if my math serves me correct, that's 14 years. So again, at the end of the day, in those 14 years, at least we have, first round playoff exit, ALCS, second
Yeah.
round. Now we're in the ages of no playoffs,
Yeah.
no playoffs at all. Our owner is lackadaisical. He'd rather worry about who's going to pay for, sponsorship on the uniforms, throwing hip hop 50th anniversary concerts in Yankee Stadium. You know what I mean? Instead of worrying about trying to get this team together, it's not a team. We don't have the team. And people were talking last week to me. I'm talking about to my people. They're talking about, well, they should have kept Brett Gardner. For what? What was he going to do? But sit back and watch us lose 90 games. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So again, this team, needs a definite overdue, redo.
Yeah.
However you want to do it, make sure you do something because this ain't right. I'm not going to say it's not fair because at the end of the day, we pay all this money to these guys.
Yeah.
They're underperforming. They're overpaid. And again, at the end of the day, a lot of these guys shouldn't have even been playing in the first place. Anthony Volpe is doing the best he could do. Gleyber Torres is, I don't want to say he's a bum, but, again, at the end of the day, we got rid of Gio Urshela. We got rid of Gary Sanchez. And look what Gary Sanchez is doing in San Diego.
Yeah.
Look what he's doing.
Hitting home
Hitting
runs.
home runs. He's hitting home runs like Babe Ruth, Aaron, Clemente, all of them dudes. He's clobbering it. So again, at the end of the day, again, it's I don't know if it's the personnel guys or maybe somebody needs to steal the Yankees files or something. I don't know what the hell is going on. Yeah. But we in the building, man. Down in Sports Talk, we do this every Tuesday. Again, next Tuesday and Wednesday will be the big Down in Sports Talk 2023 NFL preview. Yes. Make sure. Let me get this right. We're gonna do the AFC on Tuesday and the NFC on Wednesday.
Yes.
Okay. Down in Sports Talk Facebook group, we will be doing the NFL game picks again this season. Salute to everybody who rocks with us. Browski told me behind the scenes, she didn't want me to say nothing, but she told me behind the scene that she's coming for the crown.
That's right. I want it.
And Sonny Cruz can't do nothing about it. So
I need
Sonny,
it.
Listening, Browski, that's Browski over there. Sending emails over there to Browski. Any last words before we get up out of here?
Oh man. Yeah. What's going on with your man Charlo? And Crawford. We got like a little boxing triangle. We got Crawford, Charlo, Canelo. Like everybody's talking now. Everybody's being active. They said when Terrence was beating up Spence and when he yelled out into the crowd, told Charlo, that he next. He said Charlo was like, "Oh, I got Canelo. I'm fighting I'm focusing on Canelo." But now I heard that Canelo was saying, "Hey, I'll fight Terrence. I'll come down." I'm like, so there's a lot of talking happening, a lot of talking between these three guys. So I need to see some action.
To that, I'll say this. The only one that's really showing improvement out of those three guys, you said Canelo, Alvarez, the Charlo guy, and Terrence Crawford, is Terrence Crawford. So if I'm going to take anything into consideration, I'm going to listen to what Terrence Crawford is saying because he showed improved. Canelo Alvarez, for me, He's not that beast that he once was a few years back. And Charlo, you don't know what you're gonna get out of him.
Don't know.
You know what I mean? Because I think Tim Zoo, he owes Tim Zoo.
I think you're right.
We need to see Tim Zoo again.
I
So again,
think
for
you're right
me,
on that
I
one.
just think that and then you let the other dude, his name escapes me right now. You let the other dude slap the hell out of you in front of his
Oh,
wife,
Caleb
in front of
Plant,
your wife. Yeah,
Plant.
Caleb planted one on your cheek in front of your
Uh-huh.
wife. So, like, I'm not really paying no attention to what the Charlo brothers are talking about, and this and that, and the third. I'm more interested in what Terrence Crawford is, moving up to 168. You know what I mean? Like that. I'm saying I don't, feel like Terrence Crawford is biting off more than he could chew, but I think that Terrence Crawford, should focus on what's in front of him.
Yeah,
You
I
know
don't
what I
think
mean?
you need to do that, man.
No, neither me. You know what I'm saying? But here's another thing. I'm gonna say this, and since we're on the boxing note right now, um, Shakur Stevenson, I'm with you all the way, my guy. You know what I mean? They avoided you like the plague. Absolutely. Devin Haney, he really don't have nothing to say. Cambosis, I don't pay no attention to him.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So again, somebody needs to step up to the plate against my man Shakur Stevenson because I think he's that next one. Don't convolute everything and try to put all these guys in the mix, bringing up these names. Yeah, I'll fight Shakur. No, you won't.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
if you wanted to fight the dude, you
You'd
would
have been
fight him.
for it. You'd have
You
been
would have
for it.
been for it. You know what I mean? So again, at the end of the day, and Shakur, don't waste a lot of energy chasing these dudes down because you've proven
Yeah.
your point already. You know what I mean? Let them come to you. But again, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this before we get off of this. Shakur, get in the ring, Playboy. Get
Yeah,
in the
he got to get
ring.
in the ring soon. It's been too long. It's been too long.
Yeah.
I need him in the ring.
Tired of seeing you in the ring with the jewels on and the fly shirts.
Nah,
You know what I mean?
I need you to get busy.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. I would be remiss if I didn't we didn't bring up the Little League Classic with Browski's Philadelphia Phillies played the Washington Nationals,
Oh yeah.
and again, like I said, I've been talking about sports for a long time, watching sports for a long time since the 1900s, right? And I never ever saw what I saw Sunday night. And correct me if I'm wrong, Yada. Was it Bryson Stott
Yes. Yeah.
with the number? He had a bat, a number 2 pencil bat. I mean, it don't get no more original than that.
Yeah, that was
You know what I
dope.
mean? It sent out so many messages like stay in school,
Yeah.
get your mind right. And again, Browski talked about the Philly fanatic bat. You know what I mean? And it's about to get a lot crazier, and I respect it. But for me, that number 2 pencil bat was the illest thing I've seen all year.
It
I
was.
mean, the Garcia knockout from Tank,
Right.
the Crawford knockout of Spence. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Jalen Hurts doing this thing in the Super Bowl. All that is hard. All that is hard. But this dude came to the plate with a number 2 pen. And if you're telling somebody who's really not a baseball head or not really into sports like that, and
Mm-hmm.
in their mind's eye, they're thinking, number 2 pencil. He came to the plate to swing a number 2 pencil. Yeah, a number 2 pencil.
Yeah, he
Look
did.
at it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The
Yeah, that
eraser
was
and the whole
dope.
nine. So I definitely got to give, props to Bryson Stott, whoever came up with that idea, man. Salute to them. And again, it's going to get a lot crazier before it gets any better at the end of the day. But we're going to get up out of here down in Sports Talk. We do what we do every Tuesday, 8 to 9 p.m. Myself, left-handed at RM Desk, and then I got my partner, my co-D, always in the building with me, Yada Bear. Make sure y'all get at Yada Bear. You St. Louis Cardinals fans and all you other people out there, and Yada Bear get back at you. Yeah, look at it. Look. come to Butthead. Come.
Oh,
Word up. So yeah, man, we out here. Don't go nowhere, Browski. Yeah, so we out of here, man. We appreciate y'all. Don't forget next Tuesday and Wednesday we got the NFL preview coming.
yep.
We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna
Right.
get into
Oh
it. We're
God.
gonna cover all, all the squads, give you what you need, give you what you're looking for, and all that good stuff right there. I'm out. We out. Do what we
Peace.
do. We'll talk to y'all next week, man. Down in Sports Talk. Respect. And the Charlo brothers, man, focus on doing what you gotta do in the ring, man.